Now that we've created our 3D PDF, we're going to open it in Adobe Reader. And when you first open the file, move your cursor to the top of the view and the toolbar with the view controls will appear. And we'll look at the first set of options here where we can do things like rotate or pan or zoom. So I'm clicking on the pop down arrow next to the first symbol. And if I select rotate, I'm holding my left mouse button down and rotating my building. If I select pan, I'm holding my left mouse button down and panning the view in any direction. And if I select zoom, I have two options. With my left mouse button, I can hold it down and zoom in and out. And with my right mouse button, I can hold it down and click and drag to zoom in on an area. So the left mouse button will zoom in and out, and the right mouse button will let you select an area. I'm clicking on the Home or Default View button to bring back the view that we originally printed. So anytime you make a change, such as rotate, and then you want to get back to your original view that you printed, click on the Home button. Now, if you created any saved views in your EcoSim file, when that was printed, those saved views carried over. For instance, we did the corner of the building earlier. So when I click on the pop down here, you see I have any saved views that were created in the EcoSim file. So if I click on corner of the building, that will bring up that view. And then I can go back to my default or home view, bring back corner of building, go back to the home or default view. If I want to add a perspective to my view, I'm going to choose this option to use perspective projection, and it's just a toggle. So I click it on or off. Even though the view was printed with the solid rendering that you see, we can change that option with the render mode. I'm clicking on the pop down next to the icon, and I can select some different things such as transparent, illustration, solid outline, shaded illustration, and then I can select solid to go back to my original rendering. If I want to change the lighting, I'm going to click on the pop down next to enable extra lighting, and you can see right now it's using the lights from the file. We'll look at a couple options such as blue lights, which would give it a blue tint, or red lights. We could say no lights, and at any time we can go back to the lights from the file. To change the background color, you can click on the pop down next to that icon and choose any color you see there, or create your own color. So I could choose a orange background, dark red, black, and then go back to white. We can also create sections with our cross-section tool. I'm going to click on the pop down next to that and go to the cross-section properties. I'm going to tell it that I want to enable the cross section. And you can see right now that we're getting a cross section with a z-axis. It's showing red lines for the cut plane. And then it also has a background color when you're showing a cutting plane. If you don't want to see that, you can toggle that off. In addition, you could toggle off the intersection lines. And right now, we're looking at the view in the z-axis, and I come down to position orientation, and where it says offset, I can begin to change that by moving it up and down, or actually putting in a percentage in a positive or negative. I could change it to a y-axis, and then I could flip so that it's looking at it in the opposite direction. Again, begin to play with the offset. I could change it to an x-axis. You can toggle flip on and off at any time. You can even do a tilt. And then I can turn enable cross section off to go back to my original view. So again, you want to enable the cross section, select whether you're looking at it in an X, Y, or Z axis. If you want to see the intersections, and the offset will allow you to change where the cut plane is. In addition, you can create a tilt to your cut. When we created our PDF, in the driver options, if we gave the ability to turn levels on and off, we can then come here and toggle the model tree. And on the left hand side, you'll see a list of levels in the first section. Now, the particular file that I created here had no levels in the active file. They were all in the reference file. So if I had levels in my active file, they would show up here. But here you see references. I could turn the entire reference on and off. For instance, I could turn the exterior on and off, or the interior on and off. Or by expanding the level list, I could come and turn, for instance, casework on and off. So you can manipulate your levels within the PDF. Your save views are also shown again in this section when you have the model tree turned on. I can click on the corner of the building. I can go back to the default view. Now, when we created our PDF, we also told it that we wanted it to include all of the data group properties. So with the model tree open to the left, I can come up to the top and click on the selection tool, and then I can select an object in the PDF such as my curtain wall, and I'll expand this so that you can see that all of the data group properties carried over, such as the classification system, or if I scroll down, I can see the depth and the height and the width, or any other data group properties that were assigned to that curtain wall. Or I'll come here now and click on one of the windows. Again, I can see things like the class, the frame depth, the height, the thickness, information about the mullions. And remember, we could limit which data group properties came across by creating a filter, but in this case we said all, so information about every object in the file will have data group properties show up in this bottom section on the model tree. And then when we're ready to toggle that off, we can just click on the model tree icon again, and then we'll have a larger view of our building. So if you would, now you can open up your practice workbook and do the exercises on view and render options, creating cross sections, level display, and data group properties. Once you've completed those exercises, that completes this training session on how to create and review a 3D PDF of a BIM model. Thank you for your time.